today's headlines. Tourism industry records positive signs in the new year. And the first batch of 2025 rice exported abroad. Good evening and Happy New Year. On the first day of 2025, we wish our viewers a lot of happiness, good health, and fortune. You are also watching the first ever edition of today's headlines, where we update you on the top stories of the day. Let's begin with the New Year celebration across the country. Many provinces and cities launched fireworks and art events to welcome the New Year 2025. Hoàn Kiếm Lake was one of the 5 fireworks display locations in the capital city of Hanoi. This is also the first time in many years that Hanoi has organized fireworks displays on New Year's Eve. In Ninh, an art program and fireworks display took place to welcome the new year and celebrate the establishment of Hoa Lu City in the province. Meanwhile, Countdown Hue 2025, a new era, closed the Hue Festival 2024 and kicked off the city's cultural events in 2025. Dozens of art performances along the Han River in Danang attracted tens of thousands of locals and tourists. And as one of the 3 fireworks display locations in Ho Chi Minh City on New Year's Eve, Vạn Phúc urban area, Thủ Đức City, hosted nearly 100,000 people. And in Cần Thơ City, Hậu River Park attracted a crowd with its Cần Thơ Welcomes New Year 2025 events. And in the following story, let's take a closer look at the various cultural events held today, the first day of the new year.
The favorable weather in Hanoi is ideal for outdoor activities. Many families have chosen destinations within the city, such as Hoàn Kiếm Lake, the Vietnam Military History Museum, the Hanoi Flag Tower, and the Vietnam National Village for ethnic culture and tourism.
The Phong Nha Kẻ Bàng National Park welcomed its first 68 visitors of the new year. In 2024, the park received 600,000 visitors for sightseeing and exploration.
In Ho Chi Minh City, many amusement parks and famous tourist attractions in Ho Chi Minh City also drew large crowds of locals and visitors today. With improved transportation infrastructure, including a new metro line some locations saw a 3-fold increase in visitors compared to normal weekdays.
And with these positive signs at the start of the year, the tourism industry aims to welcome 22 to 23 million international visitors and 120 to 130 million domestic travelers this year. 2025 also marks several major national events and is the final year of the 5-year implementation of the 13th Party Congress resolution. Therefore, successfully completing the tasks for 2025 is of utmost importance, as it will lay the groundwork for the country to enter a new era of national growth.
In the final days of 2024, tasks to streamline the political system were carried out urgently and decisively.
The work ahead is very demanding and urgent. Time does not wait for us. The country is standing at the threshold of history, about to enter an era of growth and advancement. The tasks we undertake today will determine the future.
Regulations related to the new political system must be finalized as the 9th extraordinary session of the National Assembly in mid-February approaches.
The National Assembly is reviewing legislation related to the organizational structure. We also plan to report this at the extraordinary session in February.
The political system must be reorganized and streamlined in the first quarter to organize the party congresses on schedule. Therefore, right after the new year and even during the Lunar New Year, party committees, agencies, and authorities must work continuously to accomplish socio-economic development targets.
2025 is the year we need to complete the goals set for the 2021-2025 period. Secondly, we must successfully carry out the party congresses at all levels. Lastly, we must streamline the apparatus, ensuring the system is strong and effective.
Change is necessary to enter the country's latest era. The fourth industrial revolutions and the global political and security situation present urgent challenges that require every nation to act swiftly.
With the successful completion of the political systems restructuring, the party congresses, and the implementation of institutional reforms, Vietnam will create the foundations for rapid and sustainable development.
Vietnam's economy is poised for a breakout year in 2025, according to international analysts who are spotlighting the country as one of the brightest spots in Southeast Asia. A new report from the Institute of Southeast Asian Studies in Singapore highlights robust export growth, rising foreign direct investment, and sweeping domestic reforms as key drivers of economic momentum. Vietnam's digital economy is also on a rapid upward trajectory, with e-commerce booming and digital payments leading the charge, according to ASEANbriefing.com. Experts believe that Vietnam's growing influence in social commerce and cross-border trade will cement its role as a powerhouse in Southeast Asia's digital landscape. Also, according to a report by Google, Temasek, and Bain & Company, Vietnam's digital economy is valued at a whopping $36 billion in 2024, a $5 billion increase from last year, and is projected to reach between $90 billion and $200 billion by 2030. But it's not all smooth sailing, however. Analysts caution that Vietnam must tackle global economic volatility, domestic energy shortages, and relatively low consumer spending to maintain its upward trajectory. Rice exports are set to enjoy a bright future as many companies have already received pre-orders. On the first day of 2025, the first rice consignment of the year was exported. This batch of fragrant rice is on the way to the Middle East. Not only is it part of a major export contract, but it also achieved a high selling price of $720 per ton. According to forecast, global rice exports in 2024 will increase to 56.3 million tons, 2.3 million tons higher than the previously announced forecast. In 2024, rice export reached more than $5.3 billion, the highest level ever recorded. Coming up next, an investigation into the incident at Dak Mi 1 hydropower plant was launched. And Central Region attracts more cruise passengers. Now moving on to other news, a Ministry of Construction investigation has been launched today into the death of 3 workers and the disappearance of 2 others at the Dak Mi 1 hydropower plant construction site in Dak Chong Commune, Dak Li District, Kon Tum Province. The investigation team is tasked with determining the cause of the accident and implementing safety measures as directed by the Prime Minister. At the same time, the Project Management Board was requested to implement safety measures to ensure the swiftest possible search for the remaining missing victims. Decree 168, which regulates administrative penalties for road traffic and safety violations, officially took effect today. On the debut of the new penalties, many violators were shocked by the significantly higher fines. For instance, the fine for riding a motorcycle against the flow of traffic or running a red light has increased to $150 to $250. As a result, the frequency of such violation has significantly decreased on many roads. Traffic police in various localities inspected and handled over 13,500 violations, collecting nearly $1 million in fines. They temporarily seized more than 80 cars and over 4,000 motorcycles and revoked more than 2,000 driver licenses of various types. Now, also starting today, January 1st, manufacturers and importers of electrical and electronic products must fulfill mandatory recycling of discarded products. This marks the second product group following up packaging, batteries, accumulators, and tires to implement the extended producer responsibility stipulated by law. According to regulations, electrical and electronic products introduced to the market by manufacturers and importers from January 1st, 2025 must be collected and recycled based on mandatory recycling ratios and standards. However, the timeline for registration and payment will begin in 2026. In 2024, Ho Chi Minh City led the country with 44 million visitors and revenue of $7.4 billion, up nearly 19% over the previous year. The city also made significant achievements, earning many tourism awards, such as Festival Destination, Top Destination in Asia, and ranking as one of the top 25 must-visit destinations in 2025. Entering the new year, Ho Chi Minh City aims to welcome 8.5 million international and 45 million domestic visitors and generate a total tourism revenue of $10 billion. International visitors to coastal cities in Vietnam's central region have increased rapidly. Cruise tourism is emerging as a key sector in many localities. And on the first day of 2025, Danang City and Hue City welcomed thousands of cruise liner passengers.
At 6 a.m., guests from European and American countries arrived at Tien Sa Port, Danang, from the liner Nordam. They were warmly welcomed by the leaders of Danang City with souvenirs and New Year's wishes. More than 2,700 tourists and crew members came ashore to spend 2 days participating in the New Year's Eve event.
The tourism industry focuses on investing in products, especially those related to traditional culture and services, to best serve cruise passengers.
Danang is a popular destination for the cruise passenger market because of its diverse tourism products with many attractions. On the first day of the new year, the cruise ship Bahamas docked at Chiang Mai Port with 3,800 tourists and crew members bound for Hue City. Cruise tourists to Danang City and Hue City last year also showed strong growth, with nearly 80 cruises carrying more than 100,000 international visitors. In 2025, international cruise line visits will continue to recover, with many travel agencies registering berthing for hundreds of cruises at Tien Sa Port in Danang and Chiang Mai Port in Hue City.
Now let's move on to the weather forecast. And that was all our top stories for today. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.